You ever wonder what makes someone really smart? Most of us think it's about knowing a ton of facts or having a perfect memory or acing every single test. But what if that's not it at all? What if the real difference isn't what smart people know, but how they think? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
Right, so we're often taught that being smart means your brain is like a computer hard drive, just packed with information. That's the common definition you see on the left. But real intelligence, the kind that actually helps you navigate all of life's challenges, it's a whole different ballgame. It's all about the process, how you approach a problem, how you see the world, and how you handle the stuff that stresses everybody else out.
So here's the really crucial point. Real intelligence is a skill set. It's the ability to stay calm and figure things out when everyone else is panicking. And the best part? These thinking patterns aren't something you're born with. They are absolutely 100% learnable. Anyone can develop these habits to feel way more in control. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through a few powerful habits that totally redefine intelligence. We'll start by shifting our mindset, then cover some super practical habits for conversations, problem solving, and self-control. And then we'll wrap up with the single most important first step you can take. All right, our first habit is a total game changer for pretty much every conversation you'll ever have. It's about a fundamental shift in your goal, from trying to win an argument to trying to understand a new perspective.
So, what do most of us do when someone disagrees with us? Our gut reaction, right? It's to fight back. We get defensive, our ego gets all tangled up in it, and we just try to prove that we're right. The smart habit is to do the complete opposite. Instead of fighting, you get curious. You start asking questions. This one phrase, it's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Just saying, "Help me understand why you think that," immediately dials down the tension. You're not trying to win anymore, you're trying to learn. And that little act of humility, it opens the door to a real conversation. And that's the only place where minds can actually connect and maybe even change. Okay, this second habit is all about perspective. It's about learning how to stop getting so overwhelmed by tiny setbacks and start seeing the bigger picture. You know the feeling, the common reaction to a problem, maybe a project fails or you get some tough feedback, is to get stuck on it. We panic, we see it as this huge personal failure. But intelligent thinkers, they zoom out. They don't just see one bad day, they look for a pattern. They don't see failure, they see data that can help them plan their next move. They basically turn problems into puzzles by asking two simple questions. Okay, what's really going on here? And what part of this can I actually control? This 1-2 punch shifts your brain from panic mode straight into planning mode. And that, right there, is the key difference between just reacting and thoughtfully responding. And that leads us perfectly into our third habit, which is basically a masterclass in managing your energy. It's all about drawing a really clear line in the sand between what you can change and what you absolutely can't. So look, most people waste a huge amount of energy on the left side of this table, worrying about stuff they have zero control over. Smart people, they invest all their energy on the right side. They focus on their preparation, not the final outcome. They focus on their own actions, not how other people react. Smart people live by this simple but profound rule. By just refusing to give energy to things outside their control, they have so much more of it left over to pour into the things they can actually influence. This mental filter is honestly one of the biggest sources of their effectiveness. It's a superpower. Our fourth habit might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but trust me, it's incredibly powerful. It's about using silence, not as an empty, awkward space, but as a strategic tool. Think about it. Most of us get anxious about silence. In a conversation, if there's a pause, we rush to fill it with the first thing that pops into our heads. But the smart habit is to get comfortable with the quiet. It means you actually listen more than you talk, and you think before you speak. Here's a really simple exercise for you. Try this. The next time you're asked a question, just pause. Count to 3 in your head before you say anything. 1, 2, 3. See? That tiny gap gives you time to come up with a better response, and it gives your words more weight and more thoughtfulness. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the whole puzzle. This isn't just another habit on the list, it's the foundation for all the others. It's your first and your most powerful step. So life is just full of triggers, right? The default response for most of us is to react instantly.
But the SMART response follows this simple process. First, something happens. Second, and this is the crucial part, you pause. In that little space you create, you can then consciously choose your response.
And let's be super clear about this. This pause is not a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate source of power. In any situation, the person who can stay calm and think while everyone else is emotionally reacting is the person who's actually in control. And because of that, they consistently make better choices. So, to quickly recap, here are the 5 core ideas we've covered. Shift from arguing to asking questions, zoom out and find the bigger pattern, focus your precious energy only on what you can control, use silence to your advantage, and most importantly, create that pause between a trigger and your reaction.
Now I know, seeing all those habits at once might feel like a lot. And honestly, trying to do them all at the same time is just a recipe for failure. The real secret is to just start with one. Pick the one that really resonates with you, the one you think could make the biggest difference in your life right now.
So I'll leave you with this question. Look at that list again. Which one is it going to be for you? Are you going to practice asking, help me understand, or are you going to master that 3-second pause? The journey to thinking smarter doesn't start tomorrow with 5 new habits. It starts right now with just one.